Oblivion is the best. I love that game. I mean, I don't know if I would still love to play it. It's not like the combat in that game is great, right? But it is so great. I really liked it. The Gray Fox Cowl? That shit was so sick. You remember in Oblivion? Okay, so for those of you who don't know how Oblivion works, it has major and minor skills, right? And what you want to do is you want to set... Your instinct would tell you that you want to set the skills that you want to use the most as your major skills, and the skills that you want to use the least as your minor skills. But that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to do the opposite. And when you do the opposite, basically you make your character extremely strong, but prevent the rest of the world from getting strong. It's really an interesting mechanic, and you can really like exploit it in a fun way. It's a really interesting, cool game. The world doesn't level up. It levels up with you, but it only levels up with your major skills, right? So all you gotta do is set your major skills to be dumb shit, like, you know, whatever, shit that sucks. And then you set your minor skills as the dope shit, like attacking and etc., right? And when you do it that way, the game just becomes so much fun. And another thing I love about that game is doing the act is how you level it up. So if you jump a lot, you level up jumping. If you run a lot, damn, I'm turning into my Korean roommate. If you attack a lot, or if you want to level up your spells, you got to do the spell over and over. The more you do the spell, the better the spell will get. That's the way that game's level up system works. So they found this method. There's this like elite level tactic in that game where, so let's say I have this healing spell, right? And I'm doing it over and over. Heal, heal, heal. It then becomes about how many times per second can I cast this heal, right? To like maximize your leveling up. So they discovered that if you have a shield, you can shield cancel the heal animation to do more heals per second. It's fucking the coolest shit. That game is awesome. So basically, when you're not fighting, when you're traveling in that game, you're always going to be casting spells and canceling it so that you can be leveling up while you're traveling. So basically, what it does is it makes the boringest part of those games, which is running from location to location, productive. You can level up while you fast travel. It was so cool. Oh, another strat for that game in Oblivion. So to level up your sneak, what you do is you sneak, right? And in order to sneak, you have to have a person that's near you that can't see you, so you're hidden, but you have to be moving near them, close enough to them for the eye to register it, right? So what you do is you get like a hair scrunchie and you tie it around your controller and you have your guy walk into a wall right next to someone that can't see you.
Get up in there, will ya?
Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch. I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now pay your fine or it's off to jail.
So, all you gotta do is put the controller down and have the guy walk into a wall and go make a sandwich, and by the time you come back, that shit is gonna be fully leveled sneak by itself. You didn't even have to do it. Automatic, fully leveled sneak. Are you following me here? Imperial City Guard, thanks very much for the $5 reduce. And Sedness, I appreciate the resub very much. That game was sick. Fun game. You guys want to watch Oblivion? I never really thought that it would be fun to stream. I've thought of it many times. I've considered streaming it many times, but I just didn't think it, because honestly, I don't think I like that style of combat anymore, but I don't know. It's not like, I could just flush it. I could just flush it if I'm not down. I love Oblivion. You know what it really is, if I was to be totally honest with you? In my mind, Oblivion holds this, like, one of the greatest games ever, like, place, right? And I feel like maybe I won't like it anymore now because either it doesn't hold up or it looks too janky or the fighting won't be as good or something. And I really, hopefully I don't hate it. Because you know that's what happened with Dragon's Dogma. I really loved Dragon's Dogma the first time, but when I replayed it recently, I was like, oh god, this is awful. I didn't like it. I flushed it. You know what I mean? So I don't want the Dragon's Dogma thing to happen. Morrowind is greater than Oblivion. I've never played Morrowind. My friend Dan played it, and he's the guy who got me into... Jewish Dan. He's the guy who got me into Oblivion. He's the one that told me to try that out. You know, a funny story about Oblivion. One time... So I wanted to get Charles to play Oblivion, right? So I was telling him how good it was, and he was being a stubborn jack-off. So then I was like, fuck it. His birthday's coming up. I'll buy him Oblivion, and I'll get him the strategy guide, right? So I bought him Oblivion and the strategy guide, and I gave it to him, right? And he played Oblivion, and he loved it, of course. And then years went by, and I somehow ran across that strategy guide online, and it turned out that it was worth like 150 bucks or something. I paid like $1 for it. I got it used from like a Blockbuster Video or some shit, and I paid like $1 for this strategy guide that I gave him for his birthday. And it like gained value like crazy, and it was worth like 150 bucks or something. So he ended up like selling the strategy guide way later, and it ended up being like super dope. So Oblivion is just, there's a lot of lore behind Oblivion. That game is so sick. I don't know, I like Oblivion. I've always liked it. There's a lot of deep lore. That strategy guide, it was a thick one. That strategy guide is probably worth a shitload. I wonder how much it's worth right now. Let's see. Oblivion strategy guide. Just really quickly by Googling it. Maybe I should look on eBay. eBay will. eBay. 75 bucks. Wow, so I guess it was at some point way more valuable? I don't know. I thought you could shoot her. I mean, she can't die, right? I definitely, clearly remember this happening. Anyway, I paid like $1 for it. It was a used strategy guide when I bought it. And I paid like $6 for the game, and I paid like $1 for... It was on PS3, by the way. It was on PS3. Oblivion, at that time I was not a PC gamer, and neither was Charles really, only like, you know, Diablo and shit. Same with me, like only Diablo, and no like Counter-Strike or any of that shit. And, yeah, it was on PS3. The worst version, yeah, it was the worst version, but it was still great. It was still hella good. But yeah, it was definitely the worst version. What did I die doing right now? Oh, I didn't die. How odd.